This is Havoc, and it's a rock and sock'em pirate game where all of you play a captain, smashing each other with cannonballs to see who is the most infamous, and you win at the end of the game. Very simple premise, but at the start of the game you get to pick a captain and a ship. And they are independent of each other, so you can mix and match. There's 6 ships and 6 captains in the game, so that's 36 possibilities just right out of the core box. The captain comes with a captain card, which slides right into the board, as so, and it gives you an ability, and then you get 2 cards that go into your deck, which can be used for special actions. The ship comes with a slightly different starting deck and 2 upgrades that give you some unique powers that you can use during the game. So the course of the game takes place over a number of rounds, as most games do, and the round is split up into 2 phases. You have the island phase, where you send your little sloops off to the islands to collect resources. The resources are the cannonballs, navigation, which is tracked by this little dial here, and then you have these nice, wonderful coins. And those are the 3 resources. But other things you can get by going to the cove is you can grab these flags, and the flags do something immediately when you claim them. This one, for example, trashes a card from your discard, draws a card, gives you a resource, gives you immediately another action. But the really cool thing about these flags is when you buy upgraded cards, when you play them, if you have the matching flag, you get to do that effect again. So every time, if I have the red flag and I play a red card, I get to trash a card again. If I have, the card draw, the resource one, I get to do that every time I play one of those cards. But if I build my deck like that, I get this great advantage. But someone next turn could come and claim the flag for me. And now I do not have that advantage anymore.
Okay. So it's kind of a worker placement action selection sort of.
For this phase, yes. But wait, there's more. So the other things you can do, like you can go to the workshop, you can upgrade, you can grab the first player token, trade stuff at the trading post for resources. You go to the Deep Cove, which allows you to trash stuff out of your discard pile, which is good because damage cards are cards that go into your discard pile that don't do anything and clog up your deck. So by going to the Deep Cove, you can get rid of those. You also can trash like your starter cards or cards that you bought, and you actually get the resources that are listed on the card when you do that. But the main thing is buying new cards. So when you go to the market, you just put your ship on the card that you want. And at the end of the Cove round, you buy it. So you can actually claim a card and get the resources you need afterwards to get it. Or if you really don't want someone to have a card, you could just sit on it and go, I can't buy it, and then it's discarded. So that's what you can do there. So there's the 5 selection spots there in the course of the game. After everyone has played all their little ships and done the finished island phase, we have the ship phase, which I'm gonna grab some of these ships. So you got your ships on the board, each represented by your color, and actually each ship is a different embossment, matching the type of ship it is. And you have your hand of 4 cards, plus whatever card you bought. When you buy a card, it goes to your hand, so you get to use it immediately that round. And let's say I am the red player, and I play that card. I get to move forward 1 and then left or right. So I can swoop that way or I can swoop that way. Whee! But let's say I swoop that way and yellow's sitting here. And yellow has this card. They have this cannon card. So they spend one of their cannons and they shoot out and they hit me there for 1 damage. I take a damage card and they get 3 points. They get 3 infamy. If they hit me on the side, they only get 2 infamy. So it's actually better to hit someone from on the front or the back. They also, you can random into somebody, you get 1 point, they take a damage, but you have to discard a card. So it's not usually something you want to do. But, so as I said, you also shoot out of both sides. So let's say there's like this, and I'm yellow, and I go and I use this card. I would get 3 points and 3 points for 1 cannon. That's 6 points for 1 cannon. Pretty good, right? Well, let's say instead I had this card, and I had 3 cannonballs to spend. Can you tell me how many points that would be? 18 points.
Wow.
But it is rather hard to do that because I take a turn, play one card, you go, you go, you go. So I would have had to move here, and then these two people would have had to not move, knowing I had bought this card earlier. But that's why what's cool is why like these cards can be quite cool, because this is immediately take another action. So if I had this, plus the blue flag, I play this, I zoomed over here, and they were unexpected, and then I got to take another action, so now I go kaboom. So you can do some combos with the blue flag there.
Very cool.
Yep. But as you go through, you're blasting each other away, and then once everyone has played all their cards, you go back to doing the cove actions, taking flags for people that were really good, taking the first player marker, so that, because let's say you ended the turn like this. You moved up, you're the last person to play. I would now like to take the initiative token so that I can do the first action on this phase, please.
And fire.
Yep, and fire. So there's also that tricky thing, and they probably don't want you to do that.
How do you control the players that are not the first player?
What's that?
How do you control the players if they're not the first player? If
Um,
you didn't take the first player token.
oh, that's clockwise.
Clockwise.
Yeah, clockwise to the first player. Yeah. So that's why, it's nice to sit to the left of the Admiral, because the Admiral actually gets extra benefit for having the first player marker and stealing people's flags. So, because each captain kind of plays in a different way. Yeah, and then the game keeps on going like that until the damage deck is depleted. Damage deck is set up depending on the number of players, and you can make it a shorter or longer game by either removing or adding damage cards. But sometimes, like as the game progresses, damage cards can be added quite quickly. Like this would have added 6 damage cards for one action. So, yeah, and that's basically the game.
So worker placement, card drafting, combat.
Oh, deck building.
Worker placement, card drafting, deck building.
Tactical movement combat. It's kind of Robo Rally-esque.
I like this.
Yeah.
This is cool.
So there's some obstacles on the board. Like if you hit a gust, you get blown. I move one forward, it would blow me away. The whirlpool will twist you. At the start of each turn, you roll these dice to determine where a treasure shows up, and you can grab these tokens. And at the end of when you go back to the cove, you turn them in for treasure.
This is a lot of mechanics I like in games.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
like there's a lot of cool mechanics, and it's relatively simple and relatively fast. Like 4 players who generally know what they're doing, you can do it in about an hour. And it's so you can lengthen or shorten the game with the damage cards. You're just like, hey, I want to get more stuff. I want to build up a bigger deck. Let's try with more damage cards so the game lasts longer. Yeah, and this is the base game. We would have a normal board and we'd have cardboard instead of these coins, but everything else is what you would get in the core game. This expansion has this. It has these lovely little treasure chests that you would put together. If you had glue, which I did not have, and did not realize that it needed glue until I was at this stage. Otherwise, we'd have some nice little treasure chests here. And this also has 2 more ships and 2 more captains in it. So
That's the buried treasure?
that's the buried treasure. Yep. And then you've got the Sea Serpent expansion, which does not have any more ships. It does have 2 more captains in it. It's got the Sea Witch, which is pretty cool, and the Monster Hunter. It also is a tiny box that is difficult to open. But that's okay, because who actually keeps these tiny expansion boxes? Once you open up, you just stuff it into the big box.
Oh, we just put it in the main.
Yeah. But it has the monsters in it.
Oh, there's tentacle markers. That's so great.
That's cool.
Who runs a lot of adrenaline. She also can do
I
a lot
love
of
it.
like
I love tentacles.
And it also has a sea serpent.
Do we have extra? Oh, we have arches. Okay, there we go. I love it. That is so cool.
And it also has Mama Shark, Daddy Shark, and Baby Shark. And they hang out in the coves and mess with the worker placement side of things.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, and so this allows, the monsters have like their own kind of actions and decks, so they move around and do stuff. So like the sea serpent's got like its head, but then it like shoots out lightning, or it like pops up, its tail pops up and hits things, and then the Kraken has like its tentacles coming up, and it's flowing around each tentacles and hitting places, and you get points for defeating the monsters, but they do cause a bit of havoc.
And also, when you open it up, it tells you how to organize your box.
Havoc in the sea.
Yeah.
I get it now. Yeah.
Yep. And then the sharks end up it's kind of locking places down and messing with that sort of stuff. So Kickstarted last summer. It's at the printers now, so hopefully you get it before this summer. The pledge manager is still open right now, so you can pick up everything here except for the neoprene mat for $95. The mat is, I believe, $20, but base game is $60, $25, $20.
Very cool.
And that is Seas of Havoc.